I'm coming to you, first of all, to remind you of some important truths about who you are. You are infinitely precious. You are unconditionally loved. And these truths can't be overwritten by anything, by any mistake you make, by any way that you trip up and miss the mark. The fact that you're unconditionally loved and infinitely precious, just as the person you are, that just is. I'm coming to you today because I wanted to check in with you. And the hardest part of these kinds of check-ins, in all honesty, is the fact that I'm talking to you. And you're hearing me, but you don't get to really tell me how you're doing. You really sort of have to let this be an invitation to answer for yourself to God, and perhaps to someone close in your life, how you're doing. How are you feeling? We're still in a worldwide pandemic, and it's getting worse, not better. And if you're anything like me, that might cause you a little anxiety. It might cause you some concerns. And that can manifest itself in all kinds of ways. You can be angry that people aren't taking it more seriously. You get angry when you go to the store because you have to, and other people aren't wearing masks. Or, that people seem to flaunt that they don't care because they don't believe it's real. And that makes it difficult. It even raises your level of anxiety a little bit. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about why I've been talking a little bit about practicing breathing into this space now. If you really get at it, anxiety is something that runs around in your head. And what it is not being now, but rather some kind of triggering event or uncertainty starts this replay of subconscious things that happened to you before. And, when you were young, when you were little, when you were a child, you felt wounded, you felt angry, you felt your trust was broken, something happened. And when it happened, the child in you didn't know any better than to start to deal with every situation as risky, as uncertain, and to raise the anxiety flag. The best way to protect yourself is to feel anxious, to let this anxious thing come up. And if it's unexamined, and if it goes on and you're unaware of it, then every time something comes up that sets off that little part of you, you start to feel the anxiety rising. Because your body, your mind is telling you, hey, watch out, something's getting ready to happen. If we could if we could learn to be present right now, right this moment, we could find ways that as we feel the anxiety rising, and believe me, feelings, there's nothing wrong with them. I'm not stating that they're, with having those feelings is wrong, but as they rise in us, if we can recognize them, we take just a pause. You can even take this kind of a pause in the middle of a business meeting. These days all business meetings seem to be on Zoom or any other kind of meeting on Zoom or some other platform online. You can stop, close your eyes just a second, take a deep breath. Maybe you can't let it out that loudly because you're in a meeting. But if you're muted, no one knows that you made that noise. You let that breath out and you let it come from deep within you. You breathe deep, deep into your diaphragm. You draw your attention away from the anxiety and down into your body. And then as you breathe out, you let it go. And for that moment, maybe just that moment, there you are, right here in this moment. And this moment seems to be okay. Because that tape that's playing in your mind is telling you that in the future things are going to get really bad. But right now, I'm breathing okay. Right now, I am safe in my house, in front of one of my favorite paintings that I look at from my side of the dinner table every morning at breakfast and most evenings for dinner. Painting, doesn't matter what the painting is, but I look at it and find great peace in it. And so I come back to this moment, and here I am. Here I am, and here you are. There's a lot of things going on in the world. You can't see the virus; it's just floating around. It might be floating in the air. It might be on a surface you're touching. So you're washing your hands for 20 seconds. You're wearing a mask so you don't breathe out on other people. You are taking precautions. But you still sometimes feel that anxiety. When is this going to end? Does this mean I'm going to lose my job? Or, have I already lost my job? Does this mean I'm going to lose the place I live safely? Does this mean I'm going to... someone I love might catch it and it might, not go as well as it goes for some. All those kinds of things that run. What if? Well, right now is now. And the what if hasn't happened. And you're really just borrowing your what ifs now that aren't going to happen until the what if happens. So what if you just were now? Now, it sounds so simple, and yet at the same time, it also sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook that James made up so he could have something to say to you today. But the truth is, the more we learn to be where we are right now, the more we learn to be aware of what's rising up in us. Maybe the more we become aware of where that came from, that time that somebody mistreated us as a child, and wow, that needs to find healing. And maybe I need to talk to somebody about that, maybe a therapist or someone else. But I need to find healing for that because that just keeps replaying. And quite frankly, I'm 58 years old now. I don't need to be replaying the 4-year-old James. I need to be moving on to be the 58-year-old James. That doesn't mean sometimes it won't play or that I'm judging you if you're playing your whole childhood all over again, just like I sometimes do. What it means is being now, learning to breathe into the moment, learning to let go for the anxiety for right now, and then you find out, I can let go of it right now. It comes back. Breathe again. I can let go of it again. And you start to believe in your ability to let it go. And so you start letting it go. And then maybe it rules your life just a little bit less than it was before. It's worth a try. It's worth a try because you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved by God, a God who doesn't want you to live in this constant anxious fear. If the Bible is right, perfect love, mature love, casts out fear. And I think God would really love to heal us enough, bring us wholeness enough, that the things that seem to stir us up and cause us fear, we can let go of them. So remember, my beloved friends who have joined me either live or will join me sometime later, whenever that sometime later is, just remember you are precious, loved, unique. You bring a special gift to this world that is bigger than your anxiety, that is bigger than your fear and your anger. You bring that to the world, and it's a gift. So go and be that gift today. May you be filled with goodness. May you experience who you are and how loved you are. Remember it. Remember it. I am loved. You are loved. I am precious. You are precious. In any case, go in peace, my friends, and I will see you the next time.